Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Tim Michael with TimMichaelArts.com, and welcome to another YouTube video. Now, let me say that the video that you're seeing on the bottom right-hand side of this with my video here that you're looking at is not going to match up perfectly as I'm talking. So please don't let that bug you. It's more of a chance for you to see me, my area that I work in, and kind of give you a little bit of a feel of how I might work. I would like to have better options for the future, but I can't really afford them at the moment. So if you guys want to help me out, go to patreon.com/TimMichaelArts, and there, and of course you can click on the links anywhere that you're going to see in this video, as well as in the comment box below, in the description below. You can go and check out down there. Okay, now as you guys know, everything that I do is very much on the fly, and so I have an idea of what I'm going to work on here, as you guys can see, but at the moment in time, I don't have a design exactly in mind. So we'll see about how it all plays out, if I fast forward through some things or not, or if it's going to be a really long video that you guys are going to take part of. At certain points in time, I might get a little quiet. I got some music here in my headset that I might listen to just so I can get my creative, But let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about what I'm doing here. Let me zoom out with my program here. I'm working in Manga Studio EX5. This will not be the program that I'm going to finish up in. I'm actually going to go ahead and start in EX5 just to have it for its sketching purposes. And then from there, I'm probably going to move into Illustrator to finalize this idea. Okay, so here's what I got. I got a Sea-Doo GTI Jetski. I got it because I traded it for my PT Cruiser, which was getting a little bit older, and I was going to try and sell it. That way I didn't have to worry about insurance on it. And instead of selling it, a guy offered me a jet ski, and my wife and I thought, ooh, that could be fun. So I got this jet ski that needs a lot of work, so I'm putting a lot of work into it, and just got it registered over the weekend and stuff like that. So now it's time to start considering, other than fixing it, how to design it to make it a Tim Michael jet ski. It's really old. It's been painted over. Some people have literally painted over the Sea-Doo logos and things like that. So it's a pretty messed up jet ski. I do feel I can fix it up, and one of the things that I'm going to do is put new graphics on it. Here's the problem, though. When it comes to logos of any sort, you can get them from the internet. You can get them in many different formats from the internet, but when it comes down to it, there are still copyright infringement issues. So if I take these designs, the Sea-Doo actual logo, the GTI logo, any of that stuff, and I take it to a printing company, like one that I work for, they will not be able to do it unless I have some kind of written authorization saying that I have permission to have this done. And it has to be signed by someone who actually works in that company, who works with Sea-Doo or works with whatever company we're printing for, or whatever the nature is. And because of that, that means I can't actually make Sea-Doo logos, which is a real shame, because I would love to proudly proclaim that this 1996 Sea-Doo is really a Sea-Doo. I have a theory, though, that I'm kind of interested in, and that's taking this and turning it into a CB. So like a little bumblebee, And I was thinking that it would be a really good idea to incorporate a bumblebee into the idea. The design of the actual jet ski has a yellow hood over the front. It's all white, so it's kind of retro looking, especially with its old original logos. And so now what I'm going to try and do is transform it a little bit without putting too much cost into it. I get a little bit more benefit because I actually work for a print company, but I'm still going to have to pay to have certain things done. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to go ahead and take this design that I have here, which I pulled from the web, so I'm sorry for whoever I borrowed this from. I was too much of a lazy bum to go outside and take pictures of my own jet ski. And I took it and I kind of changed it so it'd be more of a template for me. And I've also dropped the opacity on it so that it's just really light, so I can have a really nice area to kind of work with. I got some reference photos up here of vector bumblebees that I wish I could just take it and throw it on here and print them just as they stand, because I think they look awesome. But to keep it more cost effective for me in the end, I need to go ahead and create it with a one color thought. So whatever I design needs to be done with one color, which I'm planning on black, just to keep it simple. And what I'll end up doing is I'll end up finding a font that's going to work in the Sea-Doo area here, and I want to put like a little bumblebee or something in the front area up here where it says Bombardier or Bombarder. or Bombardier. I'm not sure however you would say it. If you know how to say it, leave it in the description below, okay? And then I might also put that bumblebee back here on the GTI symbol and up on the hood, up in the front. I haven't decided yet. But let me go ahead and just kind of start sketching some stuff out here and see what I feel. And I'm going to kind of lead you guys in my process that I actually do every day at work when it comes to coming up with designs for clients or whatever else I might do, okay? So let me get myself comfy here. Now, I'm working with a Wacom Cintiq 12WX, which is an older Cintiq, but it works wonderfully. I'm also working with this really cool G13 pad. I love this guy because I have all of my presets programmed into here for Manga Studio. I can hit that button and it'll change all of these presets into Photoshop, and I can change it for each individual one. Certain ones for certain ones work for certain other programs, so some of the settings for Manga Studio are going to work well for Illustrator, which I might get into a little later. But for now, I'm going to keep it set on Manga Studio, and that is going to give me the ability to do everything with my left hand and just draw with my right hand. I really like the simplicity of that, because then all I can do, if I really wanted to, zoom in, zoom out, hold down my rotate button that I have programmed in. I can rotate as I see fit. I got a whole bunch of presets loaded into this thing. Many of them I don't use. I keep it down to a couple simple functions. The up arrow makes my brush bigger, down arrow makes my brush smaller. In Photoshop, when I have those settings set up, left and right make it less, with the words in my head, feathered, and then less feathered depending on if I go left or right. I got Shift programmed in here. I got Alt programmed in here, which is my, as you guys know, my favorite tool in the world, which is the eyedropper tool. So you get the gist of what I'm saying here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do first is I have this all laid out. I'm going to go ahead and zoom into the see-do. I'm not really worried so much about the text right now. I know at a certain point in time I'm going to put in my own text. I can't use this. I can't alter this to CB because I'm trying to make sure I stay away from copyright infringement as best I can. So my main focus on this one is to come up with a bee-like character that will work for a single color. And that's going to be the tough part. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start coming up with a concept kind of off the front of this thing. I'm going to start up high here, and if I like it, I'll move it down into place to kind of get a feel, okay? So I'm thinking this is going to be the top of the head here, and I'm looking at references just to kind of see what other people have done. I love the concepts that I'm seeing for those. This will be kind of the mouth, and this will be the tooth area. Now, my main thinking that I have here is that I have to do something that works in black and white, and is going to be sturdy enough that's going to hold onto the side of my jet ski when I'm splashing around with tons of water over top and stuff like that. So I have to keep all this in mind, that a lot of these decals that I'm creating are actually going to get run over by water and get slammed into piers and things like that. So depending on the life of this wrap, it might the life of the design, it might not last as long as I might like, but I think it'll still be fun to create. So like I said, just kind of coming up with a basic theory here of what I might want this to look like. And I can kind of see, I don't know if you guys can see what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a mouth right here. I'm seeing teeth there that look kind of cool. Let me go ahead and slim down on this right here. Kind of like that. And sharpen up the teeth to a fine area there. And then let me see if maybe I can supply some gums, because I think gums add quite a bit to... I'm kind of getting a feeling of a logo that you'd have for a sports team, if you will. You know, really want that sports team look in this. Okay, let's see if I can kind of put in an eyeball now. So I'm going to use my negative space here to kind of see if I can create some kind of crazy eyeball. Okay. Now I'm trying to remember my negative space, so even though it's a negative space, I'd like it to be kind of positive, because white teeth are white, and if I do it this way, then that means that my my positive space is my negative space and vice versa. You'd have to look at some film to really understand what I'm talking about here. So what I really need to do is I need to consider
that the white of the eye is going to be showing here, and bugs would have more of a black of an eye, so maybe white would actually be the highlight of the eyeball, maybe the outside ridge of the eye. So maybe I can do something more like this. But like I said, I need to make sure that the design is big enough so that when I send it to a cutter where they're going to cut it out in vinyl, that it's actually going to be big enough for the design to be cut, as well as still look good. So I think that's a good start. Let me see if I can change up the nose here a little bit. I think that's kind of cool. And then kind of see, it might be kind of cool if I did some kind of something like this. Okay. Alright, so far so good. Let me see what would happen then if I kind of added onto it. I'm going to make a new layer here. Just feeling stuff out. I mean, I was just going to do a head originally, and I still might just do just a head. And I might not even finish this design in this video, but you get what I'm saying. This is all the concept, the individual theories of concept here that you got to go through to get to a final process. And this stuff with clientele can take weeks to do, and can get really tiring really fast depending on, you know, how long you work with these clients and how much you appreciate these clients, things of that nature. So it's kind of cool. Just trying to think about how fluffy certain parts of the bugs are, and then let me kind of see if maybe I can kind of put in a little bit of just a filler spot, and then this will be a little bit more of where this is. Oh, I kind of like that. Did you see that? I saw that. So we'll do it like this. Yeah, I see that, don't you? That looks kind of cool. Let me clear this off though. Make my brush a bit bigger, which is actually an eraser. So I'd like to make this a bit bigger, and then maybe have this. I want it to be really long, like caricature-ish long. You know me. That's how I roll. Something crazy long. Yeah. And if I can find some way to give some definition to it, to definitely say that it is 100% a needle of sorts, that looks pretty cool. Okay. And then I'll use my eraser once again to dig out my negative space, and I want to kind of show that this is going into this part of the body here by digging into this black, kind of like that. Still looks a little off. I think we need to develop this just a wee bit more. Make sure I got my black. Okay, and my white. Maybe put a dot or two just along here just to kind of say, hey. And I might not be able to have those in the final product, but the theory is there. So, okay. Maybe I can make some kind of shape around it of some sort. Actually, I'm looking here and I'm seeing that the pincers go in a complete different direction. The
So I need to keep that in mind there. Let me see, wing-wise. I'm gonna build some wings off of this guy. I'm gonna think this through a little bit more, because you see this part of the head's looking straight forward, and the needle is not following through with that design. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of maybe straighten that out a little bit as I just keep working on this, because this is kind of just the preliminary design part, because in the end I still have to take this into Illustrator and vector it, which is, depending on the scenario, could either be really hard or really easy. Depends on how detailed I really want to get with this in the final piece. Let's see. Let me go ahead and build up some wings of some sort. And I have to consider my size. I only got about 5 or 6 inches tall right here that I can work with. So I can't do that much, except that I'm going to put this guy also probably right here. So I'm going to have a little bit of working room. I actually like that shape. I might keep that shape in there. So kind of like that. So I have a little bit of breathing room, just a little. Okay. Now, once again, because of the cutter, I can't go putting in a bunch of little vein lines here, because that wouldn't cut very well. So I need to keep that in mind. Actually, I might black them in. Let's see how they look black. It doesn't feel... I mean, I like the power that I'm seeing in this, but it still doesn't look, powerful enough in the wings. I feel like they should be up higher, which means that I'm trying to keep my structure as narrow as possible. So I have to rethink that, maybe. Maybe in this case, smaller is better. Oh yeah, quick draw McGraw hand right there. Just saying. Okay. Let me go ahead and erase this back. And since I'm not sure about the design, I'm going to go ahead and make a new layer. That way I can kind of build on it without really damaging anything. My skill of drawing bugs is very minimal, so I have no idea where body parts connect, and if I was really desperate I could study it, but I'm not that desperate. So of course, because I'm not that desperate, that could affect my final design, and anyone who's picky about drawing bugs might have some opinions, but hey, what do you do? It's my jet ski, I can do what I want. It's my jet ski, and I do what I want to. Ride if I want to. Crash if I want to. I don't have insurance, so hopefully it won't happen to me. To you. Okay, whatever. Let's see, I want maybe some kind of arms or gloves. Because I can come off here like this, and then I can do a negative space glove of some sort. I would almost prefer to have those arms back, instead of up front here, but maybe if I put it here, and then I build my negative space off of that. So I'm just trying to think about what kind of glove I'd want to see out of this. Alright, now let me see if I can build this glove out of the black. Okay, that's kind of the fist. And the first finger, I like having that first finger sticking out. I can add a knuckle in here.
maybe build a second knuckle off of it like this. Okay, and now I want to keep using my eraser as best I can. I want to build kind of the secondary part of the glove that you guys see me use all the time, which isn't going to work because I got it multi-layered here. So let me see if I even like this. I'm going to erase off of my other layer. Yeah, I can see that. Can you guys see that? That doesn't look too bad. Maybe I'll keep going with this. Trying to find that one layer. There it is. Okay. I'm going to make a big jump decision here. I'm going to merge all my layers. So there we go. Now that's one individual bee. And now I'm going to just keep refining him. Oops. Refine, my friend, refine. And like I said, trying to keep in mind that this cutter is going to be cutting out some major areas here. And if I put in too much white detail, it's going to have a hard time cutting it. And it's not going to last very long on the jet ski going through water. So got to keep that in mind. Which kind of stinks because I'm putting an awful lot of detail into this that could quickly, I could quickly find out just isn't going to work. Okay. Need to put a little bit more black in here. I really like my pen tool because I can keep things very structured. Maybe put a thumb here. And then I'll create an arm just out of the black that'll come up and then just cut right back into the shadow. Maybe something like that. That looks cool. That looks really cool, actually. I really like that. So far so good. I'm actually very pleased with that. Just kind of designing it now so I can think about, what if I did this? Just trying to think about what's going to make it pop. I like it better without that. Let me see if maybe I can show some definition on this arm. So I'm just trying to think about where the arm would be and trying to kind of draw the highlight of the arm on there. This is all about negative space. It's very important in graphic design to understand your negative space because you don't always have the chance to create an image in full color. Sometimes you have clients that can't afford that or just really have a certain style that they want to go for. And so this is a good way to do that. If you understand your negative spaces, understand how to work with your blacks and your whites and or whatever colors the client is wanting, and just build off of him. What if I gave him more of a freaky grin? That looks kind of cool. Edgy, I like it. And that still has the Tim Michael style in it. It still feels kind of edgy, kind of the way that I would have it, you know? Maybe, what if I added another highlight in the eyeball? Yeah, I like it. Sorry for all the clicks and dings. It actually, my wife comes and hangs out in my office with me all the time. This is kind of the
us office. She sits right behind me in a chair that I don't think you can see on the camera. And she'll hear me click, 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 click. And after a while, she gets a little annoyed with it. So I'm sorry because this microphone picks up everything. But yeah. Alright, let me put some highlights in the antennae here. Kind of a circle, come down, and another circle and cut down. Yeah! I like it! I like it like that! Alright, let's see. What if I put some more blue through blue? If I make this a bit darker. What if I just make these back ones just pure black? Okay, and then I'll work a highlight off of the back one. Nope, not feeling that. Okay, that's kind of cool. And what if I dug into this with a couple of these guys? Trying to keep these nice and big. This would cut really great once I convert it to vector. It'd cut really good if it was a large logo, which for the side of the jet ski I might be able to get away with. Okay. Maybe I'll put in a couple of these black ones in here just like this, just cuz. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, while I'm here, let me go ahead and save it because I really don't want to lose it. Let me grab my keyboard all the way over here on the desk because I'm working on my art desk. And I'm going to go ahead and save it up. So hang on just a second while I save. Save as. And this one's going to be C2B. And I'm going to put that on the desktop. Okay, let me go ahead and turn off all my other layers here so I can see how the C2B looks, and I like it. Let's see, File, Save As. What options do I have to save it out as? Manga Studio, TIFF, PNG. See, in Manga Studio, there's no way to save it out as a vector, as far as I can tell. Export, lip. Yeah, nothing is going to vector, which is perfectly fine because what I'm actually going to end up doing is I'll do a PNG of the C2B. I'll save it at a full resolution for illustration. Actually, no, I'll do it for comic. Yeah, and I'm going to rasterize it for quality. I'll do it under illustration. Why not? Okay. That'll save it up. Let me go ahead and open up my Illustrator and see how it converts in Illustrator. So I'm going to pull my Illustrator over here. We're going to go File, Open, Desktop, and I'm going to look for C2B. C2B, C2B, C2B. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, I did some of the design with white, which wasn't the smartest thing, but let's see how it converts. Image trace with a high fidelity photo, if you please. We'll try that for starters. Really high fidelity photo is not the best way to go. I probably should do a, instead of doing a high fidelity photo, uh-oh. My headset's buzzing too. Everything's alive. Alright, so I went ahead and did the vectoring. Let's take a look at how it looks. That looks very clean. As you can see, all the vectors aren't too bad. It's got some different color fills in here that I don't want. It's a little dirty, so that's a little bit to clean up. Let me go ahead and try another way. I'm going to back up, or undo if you will, and it's going to have to go through its pixel clustering undo thing. And then I'm going to try another way, which is going to be just scanning it as a black and white logo, and we'll see how that does. The other thing I could have done is actually drawn the logo a little bigger in my initial sketches. That would have helped out. And the big important thing is to make everything, don't put any feather on anything for what you're going to create and bring into Illustrator. So here's the original image that I pulled over, and I'm going to do, oh, no, one more back. There we go. Here's the original image. So I'm going to do image trace, and I'll do black and white logo. And we'll see what comes up this time. That looks good. Yeah, it looks really good. That is very workable. So let's see about how it vectored it. Nice clean vector points, nice clean lines. It actually looks almost better than how I drew it, because I want it to look vector. I want it to look very computerized. And did I get a message? I did. Excuse me, getting phone calls. Ugh. Lots of phone calls. Oh, phone calls, so much fun. That was actually one of my clients. Really appreciate them. So, very cool. All right, so back to our stuff that we were doing here. Why am I back over in this program? Can you guys remember? I don't remember. So, let me jump back over into my Illustrator and take a look at what I was doing. Okay, so here we are back in Illustrator. And as you can see, we got a great looking thing. I love it. I would suggest maybe cleaning up a couple points. Just to make sure that I'm really happy with it. I don't like this bottom line down here. You can see a couple of these vectors on the very bottom that just don't look round enough to me. It looks hand-drawn in certain cases, and I want it to look very vector. So, excuse me. Let's see what I can do to clean this up here. Let me grab my palette off of my other screen. Pull it into here. It's a rather large palette, which doesn't work so well with the Wacom 12WX, but still it works. I want to delete a couple of anchor points. So going to my pen tool, I'm going to grab my delete anchor point tool, and I'm just going to delete a couple of anchor points to see if I can clean this up just a bit. Now I am noticing that my whites are conflicting. I don't need white in this case because it's going to be reverse weeded. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to remove those whites altogether. So let's do this. Me grab my group selection tool. So if you select the white arrow, and then you go over, it says direct selection tool, that's going to select only single vectors. I want to select all groups of vectors. So I'm going to do group selection tool. That way I'm not grabbing everything, but I'm grabbing certain things. I'm going to select the background, and you can see that it's already not really a background, it's just kind of the fill of the page. I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing inside this guy. Let me get this artboard out of the way. I'm just going to grab my artboard tool, slide that artboard out of the way. There we go. And then I want to get rid of the whites. If I take my black and I select everything, it's going to select all the vectors, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to grab my white with the plus, which is my group selection tool. I'm going to grab one white area. I'm going to go to select, same, fill and stroke. Now it has selected everything white. I'm going to hit delete, and that's going to leave me with this just black vector logo, which is going to make things a lot easier to edit. Because in the end process, it's going to be, you know, on white. It will, everything, the black is going to be the actual vinyl that I'm going to stick to my CDO. Okay, so let me go back in here and grab my remove anchor points, and I'm just going to sharpen up a couple of these areas because I'm seeing some points here have two vectors, you know, two vector anchors instead of one, and like this one right here, I can remove that. That looks good. Right here, I can remove this one up here to just sharpen that up. Each one of these can have a removal here, 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 and maybe here. There's two there. There's one there. Actually, I like that one. I'm going to keep that one there. This one is a little odd. Is that one vector or two vectors? That's two crossing vectors. So let's see if I can move that with my direct selection tool. That's the arrow without the plus, the white arrow without the plus. Gonna grab, gonna just select this vector anchor and see what happens if I pull it away from the rest of them. Ah, worked wonderful. Okay, let me just clean this up a little bit. I'm just stretching my vectors out a little bit so they look a little cleaner, which I like that much better now. Making sure I don't have 2 points on that one. Doesn't look like I do. Because this is such a small area here, I'm just going to go ahead and, you know what? I might just delete these anchor points, just like that. And now I can grab this anchor point and I can pull it back to kind of where I want it to be. And that's fine. That's just where the hand is, so it's not going to hurt to, you know, get rid of that. This all looks fine. I admit I don't like the definition in here. It's not terrible, but I think it could be a little better. Now let's go take a look at this this fine point here. So let me go ahead and clean up this anchor point here, and I'm going to delete a center anchor point. I'm going to take my pen, not my pen. I'm going to take my direct selection tool, which is the white arrow, and I'm going to stretch out a couple of these points just to make it look a little bit cleaner. I think I'm going to delete this one, beep, and this one, beep. That way I'm really getting down to a fine-tooth comb kind of detail. And I can stretch this. Actually, no, I'm going to put that one back because I like how it's affecting it. So I'm going to just adjust this one. I remember being so scared of Illustrator, but I think I understand very well why I was so scared of it. Illustrator is a whole different beast. You do not do drawings in Illustrator. You do graphics in Illustrator. This is the graphic person's program. This is not your this is not a drawing program by any means. You can get away with drawing in it. I've used it for drawings, but in the end, it really is not made for drawing. It's made for exactly what I'm doing here. It's made for making graphics for many different formats. I mean, you can ink in this program and you can adjust your inks, but it's a much more technical way of doing things in comparison to other options. All right, I love it. I love it a lot. Let me go ahead and clean up this anchor point here. And, whoops. Let me zoom out and take a look. I like it. Beautiful thing with this is I can select it. And I can resize it now to whatever size I want because I did that image trace of my hard lines. I can make this whatever size I want. I think this is awesome. And I think it will work great for doing my overall design. And I can do it for many different things. All right, let's see about the CB part of this now with the text. So I'm just going to type out CB, all caps. And I'm going to go ahead and, I don't need to put a stroke on it, excuse me. I meant to do, here we go, font size. So I'm going to go ahead and grow a great big CB and see what I can do with it. Okay, sorry for all the pausing back and forward and jumping between cuts and stuff. I keep getting phone calls and messages and things. But here we go. Let me see if I can find a good font that's going to work for this. And once again, a big important key is that I find a font that's going to cut well. That's gonna cut well on the cutter. Looking for one that just really says CB to me. Close. Do I have a... nope, I don't. That would have worked. It's very close. Definitely not digital. I'm thinking too much of my comic. Wingy dings. Definitely don't want wingy dings. Okay, how about this one? Only one style for that one too. Oh! You're killing me, folks. You're killing me. Ooh, bold. See, what I'm looking for is one that's italic, so it's going to kind of shift it forward. I could do that myself, but I don't want to because I'm too lazy. And of course, that's all the fonts that I have on this computer because it's a newer computer. So that's just not going to work. Unless I did something like this, this could be kind of interesting. Let's see what happens. Whoops. I'm off the edge of my pasteboard. That's not going to do. All right, here we go. So maybe something like that. I'm not really feeling that, but I feel like I'm getting closer. See, they got bold italic. So something like this, kinda, where it kinda leans into the B, but still that's just too simple a font. So let me see if I can go online and find a free font that would work for this. Okay, as you can see, I got my headset on, so I've been doing this for a while, listening to some music. So that way I don't get confused, I will take that off. Alright, where did I put my pen? My pen has fallen on the floor. Hang on a second. I got it. Okay, so I found a font that's an awful lot like the CDO font that's been designed by someone else outside of CDO and all that stuff. It's called C Writer, so let's see if I can find it. Oh, there's quite a few here. And I love it! So, here's the thing. I love this design here that you're seeing, but the thing is, the lines around it are awful small. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a layer, and I'm going to do probably like a yellow on a black. And I might do that around the CB as well, the actual logo itself. We'll see here in a second. What I think I'm going to do, though, is take this logo, whoops, undo, I dare say. Behave yourself, little friend. Okay, so I'm going to look for one that I like here out of this bunch, which that looks kind of cool. I like how it leans. Like that right there. Okay, so CB. Okay, and then I like the size. Let me see about how big this file really is right now. I don't know if I can with my program, just because of my settings that are set here. I think it's set in pixels right now, so let me see about what my document setup is. I am working in pixels, so I'm going to change that to inches. I'll reselect this, go to this, and does this give me sizes? 147 inches by 21 inches tall. That's definitely not what I need. I'm thinking more of 5 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to alter it. I'm going to lock it, and I'm going to say I'm going to say 6 inches. So that's going to put it at 41 inches. I need this overall size to be about 30 inches wide, I think, give or take, unless I take it further to the back of the Jetski, which is fine, but we'll see. So let me go ahead and zoom in to this now, and it's going to look exactly the same as it did before as soon as I can figure out where I put it. I lost my logo! Okay, here it is. I'm okay. All right. So I got the CB, and then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to apply behind it the exact same thing, but I'm going to make it a little bigger, and I'm going to change its color so that maybe I'll use some yellow cut vinyl, and I'll add on to it. So with a copied layer, I think I'm going to add a stroke to this. Okay, I'm going to fill that all the way in, just like that. So you can see it's grown around the design. I'm going to take that stroke, and I'm going to look for a yellow. Now, the reason why I'm choosing yellow is simply to see how it looks. What the colors right now just don't matter, because when I take this to the people who are going to cut it, I'm going to say, okay, I want black and I want yellow. I'll select the black and I'll select the yellow that I want, and they'll cut it on those materials. So this is just kind of just a preliminary idea of what I'm looking for. So let me go ahead and select this to bring up my color palette, which switched over to my other screen. I'm just going to select a basic yellow. There we go. Alright, so it looks like I'm working in a grayscale right now, so let me go ahead and change that to CMYK. Okay, and you can see that put that in there. And I'm going to drop it below. And that's what I get. I love it. I absolutely love it. Very pleased with that. You can see that it actually put a square around this. That means that I got another pixel or two hiding in some specific spots, but I'm okay with that. It's thicker like that is actually going to benefit me a lot more in the final product. I'm going to fill it up all the way. I love it as it stands. I might make it just a couple pixels larger, so let's see what happens if I add just a few more touches of stroke to it. Very cool. And then finally, let me go ahead and select everything. I'm going to simplify it, so we're going to go to Object, Expand, and I'm going to do Fill and Stroke. And let me explain why I'm doing this. I don't want to jump ahead of myself. I understand what I'm doing here to you guys. Alright, so this stroke is so big that it has overtaken the logo below that I've made. So I've taken the first layer. Let me just show you. Whatever, I'll just show you guys because I'm cool like that. So right here is the normal layer that I created, okay, with all the vectors in here. So the CB text and the CB BBBBB, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that layer, I'm going to drag it down, and I'm going to make a duplicate layer. With that duplicate layer now, the one below, let me turn off the one above. So now we're looking at the bottom layer because I've turned off the lower layer. I'm going to go ahead and add a stroke. Okay, and I've already selected yellow. You can see it's put a stroke around here and it's gotten rid of the fill. So now I'm just going to take that stroke and I'm going to start making it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can see it's filling in everything. Okay, just like that. That's a little too big. Now let me go ahead and go back to my layer. I'm going to put my other layer back on and it's going to bring my black back. Okay. So now my black is overlaying over that stroke. Now it looks like I got a stray point now, and I'm not sure why it did that this time instead of before. So we'll have to get rid of that stray point, and that's just a vector. I'm thinking it's probably this vector right here, and I'll show you how I'm going to fix that in a second. Let me go ahead and cancel this. There's a couple different ways I can fix it probably, but we'll see about what I do here. So I think this is it. I love it. I'm going to work with this, and I'm going to make this happen probably. What I'm going to go ahead and do, though, for the time being, I think I'm going to have to make the CB text a little bit bigger. So let me undo here a little bit. Sound like a little Wookiee or something. Sorry, my wife and I have been watching Star Wars. Okay, so let me make sure I got back to that point. Delete the copy. Work on my layer a little bit more. I'm going to actually take the CB text back behind the B a little bit. Whoa, don't want to make it bigger. Do not want to make it bigger. I want to keep it all the same size, but I want to make the text a little larger. Just like that. Okay, actually I want to make it a lot larger. Because I want it to kind of be the size of the B. Maybe the B just slightly bigger, but not by much. Which, it seems a little too big, so maybe here. Okay. Now, I want it to be behind the B, so I might do the B separately. So let me go ahead and grab the grouped layers for the B and put them in their own layer, just so I don't lose track of them. Okay. Let me go ahead and work on the B first. So I'm going to make a duplicate of the B. I'm going to add that stroke to the outside of the B, which I'm doing it on the top layer. So when I go back, I'm going to need to take the top layer and move it down so it's below the black. There we go, just like that. Let me make it a little bigger with yellow. Okay. Let me zoom in and see what kind of damage I got here. Damage control! Damage control! Looks fine. Maybe a couple down, just to kind of chill it. Okay, that looks cool. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is, now that I have this layer all filled in like this, it's just a stroke over sitting the black that we saw before. I'm going to go ahead and go to Object, select all of it, Object, Expand, Fill and Stroke, and that's just going to fill it all in like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and come here to my Pathfinder and click this button here, which is my Unite, and it's just going to make it one solid piece, as you can see. Now I want to delete these inner parts here because I don't need them in the final cut, because I want to keep that filled. So using my group selection tool, I'm just deleting these inner vectors. And then let me go clean up this one point on the nose here that I know is not supposed to be like this. And because I did the object expand, that means that the vector is no longer that inner stroke. Now it's all of it. It's all grouped. So now I can come out here, grab this new vector, and I'm just going to delete this point here with my pen anchor point tool. Boom, just like that. All fixed. Let me go ahead now and turn my B layer back on so I can see how that looks. Love it! Okay. So that looks great. It's overlapping the black of the CB text, which is exactly what I want. Let's go ahead and work on the CB text now and do the same thing. CB text is still editable, which at this point in time I'm ready to not make it editable anymore. So I'm going to hit, I think it's, I'm used to Mac. I think it's Shift, Control, and O. Yes. And you can see that it took the text editable and it outlined it. So now I can't edit this text anymore except to do what I'm about to do next. Let me go ahead and do the exact same thing I did with the B. Select one of the two layers, and I'm going to start adding stroke to it. I think I did about 35 stroke to the B, but what I really want to do is I just want to fill it in. Maybe except for the middle of the A, but I'm just going to fill it up so the stroke looks fairly even with the bumblebee. Kind of like that. And there we have it. So now what'll happen is when it's time to actually cut this, I'm going to give the folks who are going to handle the cut, I'm going to give them two different files. I'm going to give them, well, maybe not two different files, but two different functions. I'm going to give them all the blacks, and I'm going to give them all the yellows. I'll show you what I mean. Basically, what I'm going to do here is I'll take my group selection tool and just select the black. I'm going to go select same, fill and stroke. And, oh, why didn't my B get grabbed? Maybe I'm using a different black with the B. So, let me standardize my blacks here. We're going to go select, same, fill and stroke. I'm going to change my black layer just to make sure everything's the same. 30, 30, 30, 100. Actually, I'm just going to do everything 100K. So pure black. So I'm going to go 0, 0, 0, 100 pure black. Okay. Now I'm going to go grab my B over here. Come over here. And that's already 100 black as well. So now, when I select the blacks and I do select same, fill and stroke, everything should select. Except for the B, because he wants to make a point. Alright, so I'm just going to select him by hand. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this down temporarily just so you can see. And, oh. Let me fix this real quick. Well, actually, I'll have to fix that in a second. The top layer that you're seeing still has the black fill in there, and I haven't simplified it yet down to just the yellow, which is going to fill out completely. I'll show you that in a second. I just don't want to screw up what I'm working on here while trying to explain myself. So let me go ahead and replicate all these layers. Okay. And I want to protect my other layers here so I don't lose anything. And then I'm going to take these other layers. I'll move them down and out of the way. So I'm gonna, this will be my original file. This will be my file for cut. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is take the B itself. I'll turn him off, and I'm gonna turn the black stroke off. Okay, so now I'm looking at the other stroke, the yellow stroke with the black fill text, and I want to go ahead and turn that into all yellow. So I'm gonna select that area, and I'm going to tell it to simplify it with my Pathfinder. Oh, no, excuse me. I have to convert the stroke that's already here. I know I'm thoroughly confusing everybody. If you want to learn more about this kind of stuff, let me know, and I'll make future videos of it. For now, though, I'm trying to explain it. You'll just have to kind of maybe rewind and follow back along. If you want to learn more about Illustrator, let me know. As we know, my YouTube channel is mainly about drawing and stuff like that. We don't usually get into graphic design to this extent. So I'm hoping that this is something interesting and new for you guys, and you were able to see how I was able to take my drawing to this stage. Maybe kind of fun for you guys, okay? And remember, please, if you're willing to support me, go to patreon.com/TimMichaelArts and support me on there. That would be awesome. Okay, back to what I'm working on here. Okay, so I'm going to go Object, Expand, which is going to take the stroke, and it's going to put a vector around everything. So you're going to see it's going to put vectors around the inside of the yellow, on the outside of the yellow. It's going to do a whole bunch of different vectors. Ready? Here we go. Fill and stroke. Okay. And you can see it's put vectors around everything. Now I want to simplify it down just to the yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my Pathfinder, hit my Pathfinder Unite, and there we go. So now it's taken everything and simplified it down to just like that. Okay. I'm going to leave this one here because I think it will add to the look. And as you can see, now I have this good. Now, here's the thing. If I send this to the cutter, as it is, the cutter is going to cut two things. It's going to cut the CB text that you're seeing here, and it's also going to cut this little red line right here. I don't want it to do that. So what I'm going to do instead is, now that I have them both selected, I'm going to go back to the Pathfinder, and I'm going to unite it again. There we go. Now my B that's here in the front and my text are all interconnected. So that means it's only going to cut the outside and the inside of the A. Okay, so that's cool. Now, going over here to my CB and my text, I'm going to bring them both up. I'm going to put my text back on top of the layer. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, I got the CB. Oh, I still have an issue. Hang on just a sec while I think this out. I have right here, if you take a look, I have this great yellow stroke that's going around the B on the top layer. And that's looking really good. The bottom one, though, isn't going to be that way. So I need to figure this out a little bit, and I'm going to have to reform this. So let me back up a little bit and give myself that stroke back around this B. Okay, I'm going to have to turn this layer on, turn this layer on. So what I want to create is I want to create this, which is the B as it stands. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm probably going to have to select this here, just like this, and this layer. And let's try and see what would happen if I do this. Whoops. Sorry, just trying to cross my legs. I'm going to do the divide button. Let's see what happens. It could divide it in a negative way. Let's see if I'm right. Okay, I got a vector here now that's crossing through some things. Let's see what happens if I delete this. Nope. Or yes. Alright, so let's do that again. Hang on just a second. I'm going to back up. I'm going to select this. I'm going to replicate it. And I'm going to hide it so I don't lose it. Okay, so I'm going to make two. I'm going to lock one. So this one's simply going to be an outline with this E. And this is very hard to explain. This is something you just have to learn. And I'm going to do this Unite tool again. Okay. So now I can delete these extras with my group selection tool. This one, delete. This one, and this one, right? Come on, there we go. Let's see how it looks now. See how this is still like this, though? This is what I don't want. So let me see how this looks now. Okay. I still feel like something's missing. That's correct. That's from the top layer. That's the one without the E. This is with the E. Alright, you see how this is? So I did what I wanted. I need to delete this one. There we go. Alright, so trying to explain that to you is going to be like ridiculous, and I hope that maybe you got some hint of what I just did. I have no idea. But basically I took the outline around the B, and I used that as a template to cut it, to cut away the shape of the E. I then deleted completely the template as well as the 2 extra endpoints of the E to create this E file, which is perfect. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn this on, which is going to fill that up, and I'm going to turn this on. Okay, so now that's going to be that. Now this is still, you can see here, here's one piece, and here's the other piece. So I need to merge these two together. So I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to merge it. So once again, unify, there we go. So now it's still going to look like there's a yellow stroke around the B, even though there isn't really. And I'm going to show you here. I'm going to turn this on. We're going to see the B. I'm going to turn on that E that I cut, and it's going to show us the E right there. So it looks like the stroke is still there, even though it is not. But that's awesome. Okay, I'm going to turn on all of my black text again. Zoom out so you can see that. And there we go. So it still looks the same, but we've gone through a big process to prepare it for cut. Okay, let me go ahead and save my process here because I really don't want to lose this guy. Save on the desktop. Okay, now I can show you again. Let me go ahead and get all these blacks put together as a solid piece, which I really don't need to do exactly because they're actually all separate, so I really don't need to do that. What I will do is I will group them, though. I'm going to do Control G, which is going to group all of the blacks together as one solid piece. So I can show you now if I turn this on and off. Okay, and then also I will I'll delete this empty layer now that did have black in it because I don't need that anymore. I won't need this one either. This is the first C, this is the second C, part of the yellow, so I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to group them in their own layer. This will make it easier for the guys who are going to handle the production on this. So I'm going to call this black. I'm going to call this one yellow. Okay, this one's an empty layer because I took stuff out of it. And that's it. So let me show you what I have. Okay, what I have now, if I turn off all my other layers from the previous, I can take the black and I can completely move it away from the yellow. There we go. So you see how that works? Now they can take this file and they can cut this black on black material, this yellow on yellow material, and I'm done. And then I'm going to do the install and I'll put them over top each other. And that's as easy as it is. If I'm really wanting to, I can also add some other stuff in their registration points to make it easier for the install, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay? So there we go. That is how I would create a design for cut file. Okay? And that's what I do on at a daily basis at my job. Stuff like this. Now, the other thing that I'm going to have to do is this is only for one side. So this is going to be for the passenger side of the boat, which I'm sure there's a proper term. Starboard, aft, I don't know. I don't care. So what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to make another one with the B on the other side. And that's going to have to take a whole bunch more editing, which I'm not going to do on this one here. But let me go ahead and do this just to show you guys how the final product will look. We're going to say save as. No, actually, it would have to be file. Save for web. Why not? We'll do it easy way. If I was going to put it up on the web or something like that. I'm going to set it for a PNG 24 just because I can. Oh, hang on. one other important thing. I got to put an artboard around this or else it's not going to save anything. So hang on just a second. Just stretch this around here. Like so. Zoom in. And make some quick modifications. Okay. Da-da-da. There we are. Okay, File, Save for Web. Now we're going to see that design here. It's going to be huge, which I really don't need it to be, just to show you guys how it plays out on the final design. So I put it as a PNG so I have a transparent background. I'm going to size it down to like 1,000, just because I can. And I'm going to hit Save. Get out of my client folders, C2B, C2B Thin for finished. Save. And finally, let me jump back over here, turn back on my Jetski and its background layer, turn off my B that I created. Let me bring up my resolution on, well, I'll bring it up just a little bit. And we're going to go File, Place, or Input, because it's not Photoshop. And it's going to bring in this image, hopefully. There we go. And this is going to go right here, and it will be sized accordingly to fit in this area. I just have to go out and take measurements, just like that. And that's where it will go, and it'll look something like that. And then I'll also take the B and I'll put it back here, and I might put it up on the front hood of the Jetski as well. And it's just going to look like that. Make it nice and easy, and that's how I do design. If I was doing a design for a client, I would post it like this on the vehicle, and then I would send that out to them as a design of how it would look on their vehicle. So anyway, you get what I'm saying. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? I'm looking forward to seeing this on the Jetski. I think it'll look pretty cool if the wife approves. Gonna have to see if she likes the design, because it's her Jetski too. And then we'll see if it goes on there. And if so, then maybe I'll get some pictures of it in the future and show you guys, okay? Alright, thank you very much for joining me here on Tim Michael Arts on YouTube. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you do want to see more stuff on Illustrator, which as you know is not what I do usually when I'm here at home. I'm a caricaturist at night. I'm a graphic designer by day. I love mixing the two though. I love bringing stuff like this into Illustrator and vice versa and all that sort of stuff. So we can always have our fun and find new ways to learn in art and such like that. So I really hope that you've enjoyed yourselves. I also hope you've enjoyed the viewpoint of seeing me as I work, see me go crazy, and most importantly, guys, please, if you would consider supporting me, go to patreon.com/TimMichaelArts. Would you consider donating $1 for every time I make a new video for YouTube? If I've earned your subscribe, I would appreciate you guys even considering that. I love having new subscribers, and you guys are so amazing. But for me to get new equipment like new cameras so that I can have more of a video mode like this, or, you know, getting new equipment because this Wacom is getting old and starting to break down on me, I need some more support. So if you guys are wanting to see more videos from Tim Michael Arts here on YouTube, then please check out patreon.com/TimMichaelArts. I'm going to put the link wherever it's going to show up on the video. And I hope that you guys would click on it and just take a look. See what you think. Alright, I think that's going to do it. Take a look at my new webcomic. I got a brand new webcomic I'm really excited about. .comwebcomic.com. I'm not even joking. .com No joke. Take a look at it. See if you guys like it. And it's just getting started. There's about 4 weeks of comics up there right now, which is just 4 comics or so. And go check it out and keep an eye on it, because I put up new comics every week on it for now. I got comics already drawn up for the next month and a half or so. So got lots already caught up on it, lots more to come. And I hope you guys go check it out, and I hope you like it. Stop by my website, timmichaelarts.com, and of course stop by my audio podcast, which is timmichaelarts.podbean.com, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. Just go and check out everything. Find me on Facebook, Tim Michael Arts on Facebook, and like my page. And love to see you guys show up over there. Thank you for all the new subscribers here on YouTube. I'm getting out of here. I love you guys. I'll see you next time right here on Tim Michael Arts here on YouTube. Love you all. Bye.